Hello, it's Tammy Pally, and I have another review for you today. This is a crochet pattern review. It is a free pattern online brand called All Season Wristers, and the pattern online brand calls for using their sock ease yarn, and I have made these before using this exact yarn. I believe it also asks that you use a size F crochet hook. So sock ease yarn, crochet hook, you definitely need stitch markers for sure. And it says the finished size is about 7 inches. Okay, I have altered this a tad, and of course your mileage will vary depending on your gauge. And I'm not a big gauge swatchy type person. I've just made a ton of these. Here's the other one. This particular yarn I use, by the way, is Expressions Fiber Art. So it is a sock yarn, meaning it is wool and nylon base. So it's got lots of nice stretch to it. So the changes I made to this particular pattern is I use a size G hook. First of all, obviously I use sock yarn, but I used somebody else's. I didn't use Lion Brands, though. Like I said, I have originally when I first made these, I did use their sockies, and it worked okay. What else did I change? Oh, I also at the top it has you end about, like I said, about 7 inches. I just went around and around, and I usually add about another inch because I like them a little bit longer, and they will stretch a little bit once you wear them a few times. So if it gets to the point, I mean, sometimes I've even made them longer, and then you can just fold them over. So you could actually like fold these down a little bit if they bothered you, if you didn't want to. Because sometimes I like to cover, it depends how cold it is, you want to kind of cover your fingers more. But say you're driving and this is slipping, you can just fold this little extra bit down. Another thing I did is I didn't really follow the instructions exactly for the for the thumb part. I just attached my yarn and again just went around and around single crochet. But otherwise, yeah, and like I said, I use size G hook. I've also made these for guys, and sometimes I'll go up to another hook size depending on how big you want it. They do have 2 sizes in the pattern. I definitely think the smaller size is kind of too small. I don't really have huge hands, I don't think. I don't know, do I have massively big hands? I think my hands are kind of average size, so again, it probably just depends. I tend to be, I don't know, these came out kind of tight. Normally I'm a bit of a loose, my gauge is on the loose side, but these did come out a little bit on the tight side. And to be able to make these, you have to be able to chain stitch and single crochet, and they have you go back and forth from single crochet in the back loop and then front loop, back and forth, back and forth. And I'd say that's kind of probably one of the most difficult parts of this, is that remembering, am I going forward or backward? Which loop am I going in? Because when you do that, it creates more of a stretchy type of stitch so that you can, slip these on and off. What else? There was something else I was going to say that's kind of a problem. I would say, like I said, keeping track. One of the things I've noticed for me, if I stop and put these aside and then don't work on them again for 2 or 3 weeks, and then I pull them out, I have a hard time remembering kind of where I stopped at. So you may want to, put a little post-it note on your instructions if you're the type of person that, occasionally puts down a project. You don't just power through it. That can also be an issue with these. But otherwise, definitely these fingerless gloves, or they call them wristers, like I said. To me, they're fingerless gloves. I've made quite a few. I use them. I live in Florida, and so we really don't get a lot of cold spells down here too much. But when we do, these are super handy, and I'm thrilled to have them. And I've given them as a few gifts, and people have really appreciated them. So that is my review. It's a free pattern on linebrand.com.